Why should there be local ordinances in cities and townships? Why do people need order if they own their home? Those are just some of the questions that many people want to know when they purchase a home and they can't do what they want in their residence. Now, I do understand both sides of this story. Some people feel like, they're too hard on us. All we want to do is have get-togethers and people keep complaining. And then on the other side, it's like, you know, don't have anything, be really quiet. If I'm on my deck trying to read a book, then you shouldn't have anything to say. So I definitely understand both sides, but today I'm here to make people understand that city ordinances are important. Now, the first reason why I believe that city ordinances are important is because we need order. Now, we can't have things like junky cars that are sitting on the curb all day and just messy garbage. Some people want to put their garbage out 2 days before garbage day. I understand those. For example, at my job as a dispatcher, I get calls every day about things like junky cars sitting on the curb, or music that's too loud, or people doing construction before the time that it's allowed. You're only allowed to park a car on the street for less than 48 hours. If it sits there more than 48 hours in the specific city that I work in, then we'll have to put a tab on it that says you have to move it. Versus the city that I live in, you cannot park on the street between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. period, or you won't get a sticker on your car. Your vehicle will be towed, and that's a fact because it's happened to people that I know. Now, I get it. That may seem a little bit harsh, but once you have people parking junky cars on the street that never move, it makes your property value go down. It's also an eyesore. I mean, who wants to sit on the porch and stare across the street at a car with flat tires and the windows busted out? Nobody wants to look at that. I don't, and I'm sure you don't. And don't try and say, oh, I don't care what, you care. Nobody wants their property value to go down. If you're having a get together or you're having people come over, then you don't want them to have to look at that raggedy car sitting across the street. Now, I know what some people may be thinking, because I've got this before. Well, can't you just put a car cover over it? No, you cannot. They typically sweep the streets, they typically clean the streets, and they keep our neighborhood a really, really clean place. And I'm thankful for that personally. Many people don't care about that, but I'm very, very thankful for that. And at the end of the day, looking at things like that and your property value, those are really high priorities to people, especially to me and most people that I know. Now, when it comes to parties, this is a really sensitive topic because my party and your party may be two totally different points of view. Now, get together for a graduation party, obviously people don't graduate every single year, so you're not going to be having graduation parties every other day at your house. So I feel that neighbors can't complain about something like that. Like, people can have parties. I mean, even if you do have a party, once a few times in the summer, that's not something you can complain about unless it's just totally out of control. Nobody's saying that there should be kids getting drunk on your front lawn, or there should be music you can hear a block away, or anything like that. But if you want to have a get together and you don't have anything screaming and it's between a reasonable time, then that's fine. And as far as times, there is an ordinance for the time that you can have get togethers in most cities that I know, the one that I work in and the one that I live in. And you can only have parties between the hours of 8 and 11 or something like that. And those hours for the party times, the ordinance doesn't say this is your party time. It says this is your noise time. So it's really like a noise ordinance. So when you relate noise and parties together, that just means that if you have music or if you have loud talking and you're out in the backyard, then that means take it down a bit at 11. It doesn't mean your party has to be over. Nobody likes that. Heck, some people party until the next day. I don't care. So that's that for parties. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be things like garbage and lawn care and landscaping. So as far as garbage, typically in my city, you're only allowed to put the garbage out the day before the garbage is coming. So today was my garbage day actually, and we put the garbage out last night, and that's totally fine. Now we have run into problems even when putting the garbage out the night before where animals get in it. So that's a really good example of why people don't want it out there. Garbage stinks, animals get in it, and they rip it everywhere. So I don't think it's a good idea to leave your garbage all through. Who wants to smell that? If you're going on a nice walk and your neighbor's garbage has been out for 3 days, and garbage day isn't for 3 days, you don't want to smell that. You don't want nasty, stinking animals and gnats and maggots everywhere, depending on how close your home is. If people don't want local ordinances, then they should live in rural areas. Areas where you don't have any neighbors, or live on a farm, or live where you have lots of space even between the homes. Maybe you can have acres. I don't know. But when you live in homes such as maybe some people live in apartments, some people live in 2-family flats, or even here where I live, the homes are only maybe a couple feet apart. They're not pretty far apart. So I believe that if you don't want these things to happen, then if you have other options, then why not go live where you can do what you want? I mean, in life, you have to compromise for others. You can't only live life according to yourself. If there was no order and ordinances for cities, then everything would go. I mean, let's take Detroit for an example. People have garbage everywhere. When I drive through Detroit, there's garbage on the curb. There's garbage at the door to the gas station that I'm going to. There's dirty cars on the street. It's just everything is a mess. They don't care. People have dogs that are walking off the leash. That's against ordinances in the Metro Detroit area. For example, where I work, you can't walk a dog without a leash. That's against it. People will call the cops on you, and we will have to come out and tell you the ordinance to put the dog on your leash. Unfortunately, it can get pretty annoying, but at the end of the day, you need to have the rules in order, just in case there are people who don't understand what living civil means. So by no means when I say we need local ordinances do I mean you should not be allowed to live and have a good time at home and love your lawn. But what I do mean is that with the ordinance, it gives some kind of order so that there can be a happy medium and everyone can be happy. Here I've never had anyone call the cops on me, but then when you go to a different kind of city like a Birmingham or a West Bloomfield, then you get people that call the cops on you every day. So I say most cities have ordinances. Find one that works best for you, because if you don't, unfortunately, you'll just have to live with it, and that can be very unhappy. So this is going to be why you should have a city ordinance. Thank you.